All right, so I have not much time left, so I'm going to mostly restrict myself to kind of giving you a summary of the consequences of the behavior that I've talked about today, and I'll mostly leave the policy to me here and the next panel. But to summarize, so the worldwide system of international taxation, a high statutory rate or just big ETR differences, and a wide tax base encourage foreign takeovers, whereas a territorial system or small ETR differences, which you might get by either changing the statutory rate or further regulating income shifting to make it more difficult, and a narrow tax base, so a tax base with a lot of tax preferences, for example, encourage domestic takeovers. So I think the main policy message is that if you have an idea of which way you think this sort of balance between foreign and domestic takeovers should go, which, I mean, one could have lots of points of view on that. If you have a point of view on that, I think that what these results are showing you is how you can use domestic policy to achieve that goal. So I won't say too much about my thought for now anyways on my thoughts about these other issues, but let me just highlight the ownership efficiency issue. So I think what's important here, at least from a policy perspective in the M&A market, is it involves combinations of assets that businesses have. And what we would like is that the assets that get combined are ones that exploit synergies, reduce production costs, increase revenues, things like that. So these are pre-tax concepts, right? We'd like to have assets combined to maximize pre-tax returns. In fact, as we already heard, that's the concern of businesses to maximize post-tax returns. So the greater are these kind of tax incentives and disincentives and distortions, the farther we're going to get away from this ideal of maximizing pre-tax returns. And then, of course, there are all these different effects. What matters really is whether we're too high or too low on net, right? So I talked about some things that are favoring foreign acquisitions, some things that are discouraging them. And so the right direction to go depends on how we're doing so far.